I'm worried. It's going to take a toll on our people.
We all love you to the moon and back, and we will never stop looking for you.
There's a little girl missing, and if it was mine, I'd want the world to be looking for her.
To sustain our hope for Jamie's safe return.
For 88 days, you called in tips.
2 hours later that she was found, I just cannot believe this.
It's amazing the will of that 13-year-old girl to survive and escape.
Today we can finally say Jamie Kloss is home.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday on this January 12th. I'm Josh Spreiter with meteorologist Chris Reese. We will have the latest on that incredible story of Jamie Kloss, who's reunited with her family this weekend for the first weekend in nearly 3 months. Just an incredible story out of northern Wisconsin. But first, a quiet weekend of weather for us. Not so quiet just south of us.
Oh, I know. We've been living life on the edge of every snowstorm lately, and right now, honestly, don't see reason for that to change. They are going to be all to the north and all to the south. Right now, we do have a pretty major snowstorm happening for a lot of folks just south of us. In fact, places like Janesville today will even see a little bit of light snow from this system, though it really won't add up to much. But we've been watching this storm really since about this time yesterday, and it has just begun to wreak havoc across parts of the Midwest. You see just how close it is. It's already starting to snow in places like Dubuque, Iowa. But for us, we're staying on the dry side, 28 degrees right now, which is oddly enough 10 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. That cloud cover working as a blanket to keep things that way, but going through the morning, we'll warm up to about 32 degrees and then top out near 34 this afternoon. Again, some flurries will be possible to the south, but most of us will remain mostly cloudy going through the afternoon.
Boy, that is close.
Very close. But not here.
All right, Chris. We know you're disappointed about
I know,
that.
but we'll get our turn, I'm sure.
All right.
Eventually.
Sounds good. Thank you. What is the best case scenario for a devastating story that has captured the state of Wisconsin and really the entire country? 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is reunited with family this weekend after vanishing nearly 3 months ago. This photo shows Jamie's emotional reunion with her Aunt Jennifer and her dog Molly. She was found in Gordon, Wisconsin, a small town in Douglas County. That's about an hour from where the Kloss family lived in Barron. She was allegedly taken by Jake Patterson, a 21-year-old with no criminal history, not even a parking ticket. But new this morning, the Fox affiliate Minneapolis is reporting that detectives are now looking at the criminal history of Patterson's brother. Now, it's important to point out that investigators still believe Patterson acted alone in the abduction of Jamie, as well as the murder of her parents. There are no other suspects at this time. We're now learning more about the woman who first found Jamie Thursday night. Jeannie Nutter is a former social worker and current academic advisor at UW-Eau Claire. Her colleagues in the UW system say it was her training that allowed her to keep calm and get Kloss to safety. She spoke to reporters in Gordon.
Grab her and run off through the woods, which would have been maybe an instinct, but no, I just held on to her and I said, we're going to find somebody who's home, we're going to call the police, you're going to be okay.
Nutter's colleagues say Child Protective Services workers act as first responders in certain situations, and their training can help bring children to safety. Governor Tony Evers posted about the Kloss case on Twitter, calling it a collaborative effort that helped bring Jamie home and offered support to the teen and her family. Elizabeth Smart is also commenting on Jamie's return. She says it's a miracle the 13-year-old was found safe. Smart was 14 when she was abducted from her home in Salt Lake City in 2002. She was rescued 9 months later. And we want to mention tonight CBS will be airing a special 48 hours on the Jamie Kloss case. You can watch that right here on Channel 3 starting at 9 o'clock. Developing overnight, the partial government shutdown is now on day 22, making it the longest in U.S. history. House and Senate members have gone home, so the standoff is pretty much guaranteed to go into next week. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers missed their paychecks yesterday, and neither congressional Democrats nor the president appear to be ready to make a deal. Nicole Killian has the latest.
President Trump is urging lawmakers to fund a wall on the U.S. southern border now.
We have a country that's being invaded by criminals and by drugs, and we're going to stop it. So I want the Democrats to come back to Washington and vote.
Funding that wall remains the sticking point that's keeping the government closed.
800,000 federal employees and all American citizens are held hostage. When do we come together and say enough?
We need to push pause on requesting specific conditions before talks resume. We need to lay down our swords.
President Trump has threatened to declare a national emergency on the border in order to get the money to build the wall, but says Congress should do its job.
And I don't want to give an easy way out of something as simple as this.
The bill is passed. On Friday afternoon, the House joined the Senate in voting to ensure federal employees receive back pay once the shutdown ends.
Now it's sort of like a slap in the face.
But workers who aren't getting paid now say they're dealing with a roller coaster of emotions.
We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know, when we're going to get our next paycheck and how we're going to be able to pay our bills.
About half of federal workers who aren't getting paychecks, like those who guard the border and TSA employees, remain on the job. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
A new CBS poll out this weekend shows many Americans disapprove of the way all parties are handling the situation. 47% say they blame President Trump, 30% say they blame congressional Democrats. In the meantime, here in Wisconsin, officials with Public Health Madison and Dane County expect to continue operating the Women, Infants, and Children's program during the shutdown. WIC is a federally funded nutrition program providing them opportunities to eat healthy food and learn about healthy living. All of the program services will be offered, including benefits from local vendors. Second Harvest Food Bank is getting ready for more people to need its services since government workers are no longer getting paychecks. The USDA also announced food stamp funding will only last through the end of February, which means even more people could need to turn to them. If you are someone in need of help, you can give Dane County 211 a call, and someone there can get you set up with the food pantry closest to you. Governor Evers and his wife, First Lady Kathy Evers, are inviting you to a housewarming party at the executive residence today. The event will include a walkthrough of the residence and the grounds and is open to the public. No ticket needed. That's happening at their address right there on your screen from 1 to 3 this afternoon. We have a consumer alert this morning. You may want to check your wallet before heading out the door. There's a warning from Vernon County officials about counterfeit $100 bills showing up in that area. This is an example of one right here. There have been reports in places like Muscadet, Richland Center, and Avoca. One suspect has been taken into custody, but multiple police departments continue to investigate. In the meantime, you can check for things like a watermark, raised printing, and a security ribbon in the middle of the bill to prove that you have a legitimate one. New this morning, you have the chance to help put a smile on the face of local kids. The free Bikes for Kids collection is happening today. They're looking to collect 3,000 bikes to clean and refurbish, which will eventually be donated to kids in the Madison area. From 9 until 1, you can drop off a gently used bike at 6 different Unity Point Health Meritor clinics across the Madison area. Executive Director Andy Quant visited Mark and Susan on Live at 4 earlier this week. I also stopped by the morning show to talk about the program last month. You can find those interviews and a full list of drop-off locations on trainout3000.com. 5:08 this morning, we are spending more on prescription drugs in the U.S. than people in any other country, and out-of-pocket costs will keep going up by around $70 billion by 2025. But there might be a way to save if you just ask. 2 years ago, Consumer Reports helped uncover something called gag clauses, which prevented pharmacists from telling you there might be a lower drug price by not using your insurance. Since then, federal laws have been passed to prevent that from happening.
We can actually help the consumer a whole lot more. For example, last night, a lady came in for an antibiotic ointment. We filled it, ran it through her insurance. It was $192. Put it through for the cash price, and it was just $15.
There are a few things you can do to get those savings for yourself. We'll have more tips for you tomorrow morning on News 3 This Morning, Sunday. The Milwaukee Bucks are out of town until Tuesday, and while it's been exciting to have them at the new Pfizer Forum, there's still work to be done to dismantle the old Bradley Center. Contractors will use a targeted explosive to demolish some of the remaining roof tomorrow morning. As a precaution, crews have installed vibration monitors at historic Turner Hall across the street, and the Bradley Center will be soaked with water to help with dust. Up in Green Bay, it turns out Aaron Rodgers did have some say in Green Bay's latest head coach hire. That's according to Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy. He says Matt LaFleur was the last of 10 interviews for the head coaching position, and it was clear he was the right choice for the job. As for LaFleur, he told reporters making the big move took some guts.
I took the risk because I knew that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and grow as a coach. And, you know, the lessons I learned this year, I learned that football is not always easy. You better navigate through some adversity, and I was proud of that.
As for LaFleur's relationship with Rodgers and whether they'll work well together, LaFleur says Rodgers called him before the Packers offered him the job and says that call went well. And this week, the Brewers added a big name to their roster, signing former LA Dodgers catcher Yasmani Grandal to a one-year deal worth more than $18 million. Brewers fans might remember Grandal for some of his defensive miscues against Milwaukee in the NLCS in October when he allowed several wild pitches. But he's known more for his bat. Grandal has hit at least 20 home runs in the past 3 seasons, including 24 for the Dodgers last year. He's expected to take over as the Brewers' starting catcher. Well, if you're one of those parents that just can't seem to get your cool when it comes to your kids' sporting events, referees have a message for you. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports WIAA Director Dave Anderson is circulating an op-ed titled "Dear Mom and Dad, Cool It." The piece, originally published by a Michigan newspaper, asks parents to rein it in when it comes to verbally criticizing game officials and coaches. This comes as the WIAA is experiencing a shortage of referees, which the organization blames partly on overenthusiastic parents on the sidelines. It is 5:12 right now. We're getting a look at what the future might look like as we head out to one of the nation's largest annual tech conferences. And here's a live look over the Capitol this Saturday morning. Some flakes are in the forecast, but warmer temperatures are on the way too. Chris is in next with your full weekend forecast. Thanks for waking up with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Oddly enough, a little bit of a milder morning to start your Saturday. Temperatures today 10 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday, sitting at 28 degrees right now, although we are very cloudy. That cloud cover overnight working to keep us as a blanket. The temperatures there showing up in red, but we're certainly on a chillier note, really across all of the upper Midwest. We're seeing uniform temperatures that are in the 20s and 30s. Here's the deal. We're also watching some snow. Oh, so close just to our south. That is going to be accumulating snows through parts of Iowa and Illinois. Overall, it's actually a pretty large-scale system that we are watching across the midsection of the country and into the Ohio Valley. It's going to be impacting a lot of folks, perhaps a very large, high-impact storm as you work your way down towards St. Louis and through Indianapolis and over towards Cincinnati. And that's where we do find the winter storm warnings that are associated with this. In fact, that regional low pressure, though, will move to the south, bringing the snow for them. High pressure just overhead, though, is working to keep us on the drier side of the system through today. And really, it's going to dry things out for everyone as we head into your Sunday. But let's take you hour by hour. Folks down near Platteville, you guys may actually see some of that lighter snow earlier this morning. And again, as you work your way down towards Monroe and Janesville, over down towards Walworth County, don't be surprised if you do see some snowflakes falling out of the sky. Here in Madison, we should remain on the drier side. Temperatures will fall through the 20s, and then into your Sunday, I actually can't rule out some lake effect cloud cover or flurries before things do dry out as we head into your Monday. Now, we've been watching this colder air kind of settled up towards the north. Here's how things are looking to play out towards the end of the month. We'll actually see a little bit of a warm up once we get you towards the 16th, followed in by the leading edge of some colder air. But then towards January 20th or so, it's actually possible to get a nice shot of some really cold air coming into the eastern half of the country. Can we see some snow out of that? I know that's the big question. And while we do have a decent probability of seeing those temperatures that are below average, we also have a decent probability of above average precipitation. So I can tell you that chances are better for seeing some snow towards the end of the month and into February. Of course, it has to be taken on a case-by-case basis when it comes to individual storm tracks. But for now, we are looking mainly dry. There is a chance of snow as we get you towards next weekend and next Monday for Martin Luther King Day. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on those.
Staying pretty quiet for us.
Yes, it is.
All right, Chris, thank you. 5:18 is your time right now. A lot of buzz at the annual CES Tech Show in Las Vegas this week is about 5G. This Motorola Z3 smartphone is expected to be the first on the market with the power of 5G. Eventually, 5G could be up to 100 times faster than current 4G speeds. Several companies are promising the high-tech upgrade in the near future. CNET's Roger Chang says providers are installing the new small cell towers that carry 5G, and this fifth-generation technology will do more than make browsing and downloading quicker.
When we went from 3G to 4G, we enabled all kinds of new apps, things like Uber, Airbnb, live streaming on Facebook. Those things did not exist without 4G. We couldn't even conceive of those apps before it happened. With 5G, I think the real promise is apps that haven't even been figured out yet.
It could also make full self-driving cars a reality, allowing them to talk to each other. 5G will roll out in the next few months in several large cities, but it may be a couple of years before it's widely available. A group of seniors in Wausau is practicing their waves and perfecting their special talents as a retirement home prepares to host its first ever silver pageant. That's a beauty pageant for residents 75 years and older. The main goal is to give those wiser women a chance to share their stories with a younger generation. Yesterday, participants got their photos taken at Mountain Terrace Senior Living. One of those women, Ann Jake, says that part reminded her of high school back when she took her last yearbook photo.
It's been exciting because it's pushed me to do more reflection of who I am.
Jakes will be escorted by her son during the pageant, which takes place next month. An international meat competition is coming to town, and it's a pretty big deal. The IFFA quality competition is only held every 3 years and generally only in Frankfurt, Germany. This is just the second time it's being held outside of that city. UW-Madison is hosting a satellite contest of the competition at its Discovery building. It's It's happening later this month from January 21st through the 25th. 5:20 this morning, the Oscars will reportedly go hostless for the first time in nearly 3 decades. And it's a real-life show captivating thousands halfway around the world. We'll take you to a much colder ice fest when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues. Welcome back at 5:23. The Academy Awards has not found a host, so the show may go on without one. Kevin Hart backed out on next month's Oscars and says he's not changing his mind. Variety magazine reports the Academy is planning to go forward without a host for the first time in nearly 30 years. The show will instead have various celebrities introduce different segments. We'll go out on a limb and predict this next film won't be up for an Oscar, but Barbie is coming to life, bringing her Malibu dream home to the big screen. Academy Award nominee Margot Robbie will play the world-famous doll. Mattel and Warner Brothers are partnering on the project, which will be the first live-action film to showcase Barbie. Will Smith took to Twitter to tease the start of production for the 3rd installment in the Bad Boys movie franchise. He tweeted a stack of scripts for Bad Boys for Life. It's been 15 years since Smith and Martin Lawrence starred as buddy cops in Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life will hit theaters next January. Sam Elliott is the latest name to receive Hollywood's oldest honor, leaving his hand and footprints in cement outside the TLC Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Elliott's 50-year acting career began with a part in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga were on hand for the ceremony. Both starred alongside Elliott in A Star is Born. It is a real-life show captivating crowds in China. The city of Harbin is hosting its annual Ice and Snow Festival right now. Colored lights illuminate ice and snow sculptures. People who attend can take sled rides on the river or participate in a mass wedding. The event draws millions of visitors from around the world each year since it started in the 80s. Harbin is one of China's coldest cities, where temperatures can drop as low as 25 degrees below zero. The festival runs through February. Back in Wisconsin, crews working on the ice castles in Lake Geneva are a bit frustrated with this recent warm spell. WPR reports crews trying to hand place 10,000 icicles have to start over they have to keep starting over rather, because of the warmth and rain. This video is from 2 years ago when the attraction opened by mid-January. So far this year, crews have gotten about 3/4 of the way done 4 times now. But the Utah company is in charge of staying optimistic, saying it's not if, but when it'll stay cold enough to keep building. They're hoping to open by Lake Geneva's annual Winterfest, which starts on January 26th. When we come back, we'll have the latest on the day's top stories, including the consumer alert about counterfeit bills circulating our area, and learning from the past as we move towards the future. That's the mentality behind a new program bringing older generations into classrooms. News 3 This Morning Saturday will return in a moment. Maybe the only force as powerful as a parent's love for their children is a grandparent's. We'll tell you why there's a nationwide push to get more seniors involved in schools.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 5:30 in the morning on January 12th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese has the latest weekend forecast in just a moment, but first, here's what's making news on this Saturday morning. It is a good weekend for family, friends, and the Barron community after a 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is back home for the first time in nearly 3 months. Here's the first photo of her aunt Jennifer with Jamie and her dog. Meanwhile, investigators will spend the weekend searching the home in Gordon where Jamie was found. We'll keep you up to date on any breaking details this weekend on News 3 and the Channel 3000 mobile app. The government shutdown entered day 22 at midnight, making it the longest in U.S. history. House and Senate members have since gone home, so the standoff is pretty much guaranteed to go into next week. A CBS News poll out this weekend shows many Americans disapprove of the way the president, Democrats, and Republicans in Congress are handling the situation. 47% say they blame President Trump, while 30% say they blame congressional Democrats. We have a consumer warning from Vernon County officials this morning about counterfeit $100 bills showing up in that area. Here's an example of one right now. There have been reports in places like Muscadet, Richland Center, and Avoca. One suspect has been taken into custody, but law enforcement continue to investigate. In the meantime, you can check for things like a watermark, raised printing, and a security ribbon in the middle of the bill to prove that you have a legitimate one. The dismantling of the old Bradley Center in Milwaukee will move forward a lot faster when contractors use a targeted explosive tomorrow morning to demolish some of the remaining roof. As a precaution, crews have installed vibration monitors at historic Turner Hall across the street, and Bradley Center will be soaked with water to help with dust. The Bucks moved to the Pfizer Forum this season after 30 years at the Bradley Center. They're out of town until Tuesday. 5:32 right now, and all is quiet here in southern Wisconsin, but that's not the case just south of us, Chris.
Yeah, that's right, Josh. Folks just to the south of us are dealing with a pretty major winter storm that started yesterday that's going to continue to rage on as we go in through today. Places like northern Illinois and eastern Iowa also will be getting in on some of that snow action. We're watching that fill into the region there right now, but you see that snow going all the way back through parts of Denver and then as far east as parts of Ohio and western Pennsylvania. So it is a large chunk of real estate being impacted by the storm. Here in Wisconsin, though, we are going to remain on the cold but dry side of this. Expect a lot of cloud cover to fly, and extreme southern Wisconsin at least has the potential to see a few snowflakes with this. But for now, 28 degrees. We are cloudy as we will be going throughout the entire day, but temperatures are 10 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. We'll go up towards 32 by lunchtime, staying mostly cloudy with a few flurries mainly south, topping out right around 34 degrees as we head into the afternoon, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Wisconsin hunters are already looking forward to this spring's turkey hunt. More than 135,000 hunters have now been authorized to take part in the annual hunt. The DNR mailed out postcard notifications to the applicants who were pulled in that annual drawing, but if you didn't get lucky in the drawing, don't worry. There are still more than 10,000 licenses available for purchase starting March 18th. You can check your status online. The DNR says Wisconsin saw a record number of bald eagle nests across the state. This year, the DNR counts nearly 1,700 functioning bald eagle nests in its aerial survey. That's up more than 100 from last year, and experts say that number should continue to grow. So far, the DNR has found nests in 71 of 72 counties in Wisconsin, including Walworth County with its first documented nest in at least a half of century. There's some good news for anyone planning to visit the Sauk Prairie Eagle Watching Days. Up to 3 rehabbed eagles are now ready to be released back into the wild for that event. That's happening at 1 in the afternoon, 1 week from today on Saturday, January 19th at VFW Park. Other eagle watching events are happening in Fox Valley communities the following weekend on January 26th and Prairie du Chien during the last weekend of February. You can search bald eagle watching on the DNR's website for all of the details. It is 5:34 right now. Maybe the only thing as powerful as a parent's love is a grandparent's love. More than 20,000 seniors from thousands of schools across the country are volunteering every day as foster grandparents. Here's Jan Crawford.
As the day begins at Excel Public School in Southeast Washington, there are a few mature faces among the young girls rushing to class.
Good morning, Taylor.
Wearing blue aprons and serving up hugs are 6 foster grandmothers.
You back here with the caboose.
working alongside the school's teachers to help students succeed. Inside Dr. Smith's first grade class is Grandma Margie Dixon.
What does it mean to you to be here?
It gives me a lot of energy just to be with them.
What difference does she make at school time?
Because she make it funny, and it be fun when she make it funny. She's sweet and she hugs us.
They're role models for our young ladies.
Principal Tanaya Pritchard said she'd love a grandparent in every classroom.
Our grandmothers live in the community, so they see our young ladies at the grocery store, on the buses. And so the girls, when they're at home and in their communities and with their families, they can see a part of school.
For Grandmas Dixon, Wanda Brookings, and Maureen Brooks, the word that best describes their experience is joy.
But it's a joy to get up every morning knowing that a smile and a hug is waiting for me. Who wouldn't want to get up and get that?
And they need you.
And they need me, and I need them each and every day.
Do you feel like you're really helping
Yes.
them learn?
Yes, you see it every day. Little things I do with my children in the room. I have one little girl.
You wink.
And then I say, then that lets her know, you're doing good today. And I
Just
love
that
you.
encouragement, like a wink and a thumbs up.
That's our secret.
The program is only open to seniors earning less than twice the federal poverty level. Nationwide, the Corporation for National Community Service helps more than 150,000 young people work with 22,000 foster grandparents in nearly every state.
The most important factor to move people into self-sufficiency is education.
Cheryl Christmas runs the DC program, one of the largest in the country.
We try to match individuals in areas and in schools and early childhood that people are struggling. The kids benefit from the social-emotional connection, and then for the grandparents, they too are learning.
Seniors get help with everything from wills to annual physicals. A recent study found that nearly half of the program's volunteers report improved health after just 1 year. Something Grandma Maureen has felt personally.
What did the doctor say about you doing this?
Oh, he told me to keep up the good work, my pressure down.
Your blood pressure's down.
Blood pressure down, my weight is down. I just had my cataracts removed. They're fine. I said I got to see my babies.
But for these grandmothers, the program's most valuable benefit is in the classroom.
Love. Yeah. Don't cost anything.
I had one little girl to tell me, she said, do you know how much I love you? You know how you turn your eyes because you have tears in there? I said, you just don't know how much I love you today, baby.
But you're getting emotional about this.
You see so many children that don't get love. They have no idea what love is about. And to me, to share my love, that can take them a long ways.
Orange thing.
Like the oranges we have for breakfast, right?
Beautiful story there. 5:38 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the family. From a song selection by the Piano Man to several entertainment options that'll have you laughing and singing along. Your Weekend 608 has you covered on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
It's going to be a very cloudy day. There is a chance for some snowflakes to fly just south of Madison. You're looking at radar right now, and you see just how close that snow actually is to the Wisconsin state line as of now. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that going through the morning. But the reality is there's a pretty major storm occurring across the Midwest right now. We will be staying on the colder but drier side of that system, so that could or should keep snowfall away from us today. Looking outside right now, it is cloudy. The temperature 28 degrees, and plan your day with the cloud cover sticking around, and temperatures warming up towards 34 for highs this afternoon.
Well, it is the weekend in the 608.
And here's a look at what's happening around town.
There's a great option for anyone who loves to laugh at Comedy on State. Funny man Ian Edwards has 2 more shows tonight. Edwards was born in England, raised in Jamaica, and now lives in New York City. He'll bring his accent and worldly experience to the observational skits. Edwards has written for ABC's Blackish, CBS's 2 Broke Girls, and Saturday Night Live. Tickets are still available for his shows at 8 and 10:30 tonight.
And for anyone who can't wait to see Billy Joel in Milwaukee this spring, you can get your Piano Man fix this afternoon. Now, it's not the Piano Man himself, but local pianist Billy Joe Anderson puts his name to good use by leading a Billy Joel tribute show with his band, The Affordables, at the High Noon Saloon. It's an early option. The show will start right around 2 o'clock this afternoon.
And if you have kids or you're like me, you might want to spend some time at the Overture Center this weekend. I'll be there this afternoon. The musical Finding Neverland follows the playwright of Peter Pan's Neverland. You can catch one of the 4 remaining performances at the Overture Center. Those are at 2 and 8 o'clock today and 1 and 6:30 tomorrow.
And the Madison Opera Center will host Superstorm, an opera commissioned by Opera for the Young and performed with the Madison Opera. It's a story of cats and dogs finding their voices while trapped in a cave during a storm. That's tomorrow at 3.
And competing in that same time slot tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the Overture Center is The Rainbow Fish, a production filled with lifelike puppetry. Octopi and fish float through the light's currents, all while enjoying stories for the kids. That looks pretty cool.
That does look pretty cool. As always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
It is 5:44 this morning, and still to come, you can now buy season tickets for Madison's newest teams in their inaugural season.
And here's a live look over the Capitol where we're tracking warmer temperatures, oddly enough, for this morning. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
But first, happy birthday to all of the kiddos turning 3 years old today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
We're starting out on a warmer note for your Saturday. The temperature right now, 28 degrees. That's all thanks to cloud cover that moved in overnight, working as a blanket to keep those temperatures at least a little bit warmer. 30 in Janesville right now. Mainly all of us are somewhere between 25 and 30 degrees. La Crosse right now is at 31. We zoom things out across the upper Midwest. We're a little bit colder in the far north and west, but temperatures are fairly uniform for a lot of us. 28 as you work your way down towards Des Moines, 29 in Iowa City, but we are also watching the snow move into the picture for our friends to the south. Whether or not any of this crosses over the Wisconsin border and impacts our southern counties, it's going to be real close, folks, extremely close. Well, we will be keeping a close eye on this. It's a large system, though, impacting a large chunk of the country with a major winter storm. Some folks to our south could see over a foot of snow when all is said and done. In fact, that's where we do have the winter storm warnings in play anywhere from Cincinnati all the way back through parts of Kansas, even Denver getting in on some snow, and that goes all the way over towards Virginia. But this regional low pressure will continue to track to the south. High pressure to the north is working in favor of keeping things dry, and it will continue to do so as we go through the weekend, really for a lot of us, shoving that storm on out of the picture. Let's take you hour by hour through the rest of today. Of course, that snow will come very close to the south. We'll see those temperatures in the 30s. We'll also have drier air coming off the lake, and that's a large reason why we will not actually see any snow here. It's going to be fighting that dry air and not really gaining ground as it does so. Temperatures fall through the 20s tonight. We might actually see some lake effect cloud cover into your Sunday afternoon. That'll be something to be mindful of. Whether or not we get lake effect flurries, it's possible, but I just think the air is going to be too dry for that to happen. Eventually, we'll see those winds turn out of the south as we head into Monday. Now, here's how the pattern shapes up going through the end of the month. Eventually, we will see a little bit of that colder air starting to move into southern Canada, and then watch how that begins to take over the eastern half of the country. Can we get something out of that? That is actually what remains to be seen. We do have a pretty solid probability of below average precipitation through the end of the month, along with the probability of being above average in precipitation as well. So we will, of course, be watching that one closely. For the most part, we're going to see sunshine through much of the work week. But as we get you towards next weekend, Josh, we actually do have a possibility of some snow in the picture. Of course, each storm will be taken on a case-by-case basis, but we're watching it closely.
The temperatures aren't too bad there, though.
They're not too bad. They're still warmer until we get you towards next Monday. And then they go below average. No single digits in that forecast yet, but I think that day is coming.
All right, Chris, thank you. We have been asking you to share your morning with us, and Linda Watson posted this on Facebook. Check out the squirrel. It's a beautiful picture right there. I don't know how she got that close.
Wow.
I love it. All right, take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, Instagram or Twitter. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and that's how we can pick out our favorites and air them right here on News 3 This Morning. Right now, Wisconsin is behind the national average on several health measures like the obesity rate and weekly activity levels, but there's an initiative working to change that. Wisconsin Active Together recognizes communities that are committed to promoting places to walk, bike, and be active. They just announced 14 new members, including Bike Fitchburg, the City of Middleton, Oregon's Chamber of Commerce, and the Sun Prairie Bicycling Advocacy Group. The program connects those groups with resources, trainings, and policy experts to build a better, more active community. If you'd like to get involved, head to wiactivetogether.org. For those of you planning a family day trip to Devil's Lake, we could see what a new nature center will look like in the next few months. The Baraboo News Republic reports an architect is working on plans for that multi-million-dollar center, which will highlight the geological, cultural, and historical aspects of the park. Just as important, it's also going to have a concession stand. Baraboo's Chamber of Commerce, the Ho-Chunk Nation, and other groups could meet as soon as next month to get public input on the new facility. If you're already looking ahead to spring and summer activities for your sports-minded kids, Madison's brand new pro soccer team is now selling 5-game ticket packages. That package gets you into 5 home games for $99 plus a free scarf. Madison Forward FC will open their inaugural season this April with the team's first home game scheduled for April 27th against the Greenville Triumph. Retiring Badgers band conductor Mike Leckrone may have led his last fifth quarter, but now he's being immortalized in bobblehead form. The Bobblehead Museum unveiled a new Michael Leckrone bobblehead. It features the legendary band director in a red blazer, and it actually plays on Wisconsin. They're only selling about 2,000 of them, with $5 from every sale being donated to the UW band. You can order yours online at the museum's website. It's actually the second time Leckrone has been bobbleized. His previous bobblehead back in 2003 sold out. Time right now is 5:53. There's a full hour of News 3 this morning ahead at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow on News 3 this morning, Sunday, we're about halfway through January, so we're checking in to see how your resolutions are going with a look at some top diet trends. That's tomorrow morning starting at 6:30. And this quick reminder, tonight CBS will be airing a special 48 hours on the Jamie Kloss case. You can watch that right here on Channel 3 at 9 o'clock. Stay with us. We'll have a final check of the forecast when we come back. Welcome back at 5:56. Not much to complain about here in southern Wisconsin this weekend, unless you're a snow lover wanting that snow.
I know, that's the only thing. You've got to travel for the snow. I'm actually going to be heading down to Iowa today. I'll have to get some snow somehow, some way. So that is what I'm going to be doing. But otherwise, we're going to be dry through most of the work week. We do have a chance of some snow next weekend. Still just a lot of fuzzy details in that. But there's a chance, and I'm saying there's a chance, as Ace and Juro would say. We also have another chance of snow as we head into Martin Luther King Day. So, of course, we'll keep a close eye on that. And here is your pet walk for the day. Indy with her Christmas gift in Madison.
Oh, I love that. All right, thanks for joining us. CBS This Morning Saturday is coming up next, and we'll see you back here at 8 o'clock for more News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.